Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final session of the day. That's the final session of day number 3. We're going to close it out strong. We're going to close it out real strong. We got a great session for you lined up. I'm really excited to get into it. But before we get to that, who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? Let me know. Change it to panelists and attendees. I have to keep saying this, but Zoom defaults to just panelists. Just Coach Rand and I are the panelists. So you want to change it to panelists and attendees. Say hello. Let me know your age and where you're tuning in from. That helps understand who we're dealing with. Avery from New Jersey, Bethany, Henry, Frank. A lot of common names, a lot of names I've seen. I love it. I love seeing the repeat names. I've got some housekeeping to do, but before I do, I just want to welcome in Coach Rand, Kirby. Coach, how are we doing today?
We're good. I can't wait to share.
Love it. Love it. Well, we're going to get to that in just a second. Is this anybody's first session of the entire summit? First session of the entire summit? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Or even a better session, seminar number 12, says Dwayne. I love it. Goalie dad from Michigan. And Dwayne, I just entered you into the drawing. Yeah, most people have been to all the sessions. So maybe we don't even need to do the housekeeping. You already know we got the daily giveaway for the Mark II-G. Take a picture of yourself, tag @LaxGoalieRat, or email that to help@laxgoalierat.com. You already know we're giving away a Lax Shield at the end of this. Our team will reach out to you. Don't worry. If you haven't gotten an email yet, we got a lot of stuff going on. Believe it or not, putting on an event of this magnitude, I'm starting to learn it takes a lot of work, but I got a great team now, Team Lax Goalie Rat. Taylor is in the chat. She's been rocking it all day, answering your questions, helping out. Everyone say hello to Taylor. Taylor Myers. Hello,
Taylor. What's up, Taylor?
All right, we are doing good. What else do I need to say? What else do I need to say? In the Q&A, put your questions in the Q&A, because if you put them in the chat ends up going a million miles a minute and we miss them. Put them in the Q&A questions. We'll get to as many as we can at the end. We got the giveaways. Oh, I'm going to do the giveaway probably about a half hour after we end this session. So if you tag @LaxGoalieRat after that, we'll put you in tomorrow's drawing. And then the bingo card. The bingo card. A lot of folks have bingo, so I know we've done it. But if you don't have bingo yet, get that out, get that ready. Coach Rand Kirby. We're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about?
Equipment to optimize your lacrosse goalie game.
I love it. Who's pumped up? Who is pumped up? Put it in the chat and let's go if you're feeling it. I'm excited to understand this because there's a lot of cool equipment I've seen come across your Instagram feed, and we're going to get some behind the scenes analysis of what it does and how you use it. Let's do it.
Are y'all ready?
Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, everyone's pumped up. Brett says his wallet is going to fuel this session, and I love it.
Oh, man. So, hey, I'm Coach Rand Kirby. I am living in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And thank you again, Damon, for this exciting opportunity. Summit 4. I've been sharing it with all my goalies. Everybody's pumped, everybody's watching. So I am ready to help you optimize and explode your game to the next level. So what we got here, quick introduction. I grew up, learned, loved lacrosse, young age, middle school, high school, moved over here to Cleveland University School, actually coach there now as the goalie coach, which I love. It's going to be it's about 8 years now. Absolutely love to get after with my goalies every single day. Use this equipment. So all of this stuff that I have, I do own, and I'm going to show it to you. And it's personal, and I will be able to show it to you because I've just got, I use it. That's why I own it. What is it? I own all of these strange things. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to have a deep dive into this. So let's continue. I got to college. I wanted to find any edge I could, any edge. And I scoured the YouTube. I went to books, yes, books, the internet. I went everywhere I could to go ahead and find a way to up my game. And so I obsessed about this. Now it became my passion, leading my goalies in college, as well as going to sports exercise science school. After that, I was able to bring the techniques and the science to the lacrosse goalie. Now, I'm going to show you some really fun and exciting pieces of equipment, and you're going to love it. So I ended up continuing this as a passion and created my Kirby Sports Fitness, and now it's thelacrossegoalie.com. Snag that domain name, had to. So it is on the screen behind me. That's me, that's my logo, that's my save. So you all know that save. So I did become interested in all of that. So my number of different things my presentation is going to be focusing on is we're going to talk about cognition, field of view, reaction time, hand-eye. We're going to do a little footwork. We're going to talk about weight, how we can use the weight to our advantage, being dynamic in many senses of the word. So these pieces of equipment, you're going to be able to plug and play right into your game. You're going to right into your game, and it's going to be amazing. I promise. You're going to love it. And you just layer it right into your game. I promise you're just going to love how your game will improve. So, unfortunately, we're virtual. We are not in an awesome hotel, just living it up, having a great time doing a big seminar. But what we are having is virtual, and I cannot, unfortunately, show you. I can only show it to you. I can't help you feel and figure out for yourself the number of different pieces of equipment I have. Yet it is somewhat of a petting zoo. You cannot pet what I have here. So I'm going to go into the different categories that we're going to talk about, and let's do this. Let's really get into it. We're going to go into weighted resistance. We'll be going into dynamic resistance. We'll be going into minimum maximum is what I call it. It is like the size and the surface area of the piece of equipment you're using. And one of my favorites, which I've really messed with for quite some time, and I really think it can help you guys. It's called cognitive training. And lastly, we'll go into some footwork. Okay, guys, we'll go to some footwork. I got a lot to share, so let's go. Like I said, we're going to begin with the weight training. So I call it gravitational because that is what's going on. The gravity is acting on you, and that's adding weight. You all know this. So I'll start with a quote here. This is how it helps. The heavier load of the weighted stick stimulates the neural system and increases muscle activation during having a lighter bat. This refers to baseball as well as lacrosse. The researchers have found that muscle contractions are stronger after that. So what that means is if we're using a heavier lacrosse shaft, heavier head, heavier ball, anything like that, it will create more contractions once you stop using it and you use the lighter or lighter as in your normal shaft or your head or whatnot that you're working with. So let us begin. I am going to use first This is the power shaft. Now, this is straight iron, and it is roughly about 4 pounds. And then you have it to be able to put your head on it, and you can make your save motions. You can do anything you want, just as if it was your stick. So straight iron, you're able to use it just like you would as your lacrosse stick, which translates 100%, right? So here I've got, you can put a shorty on there for extra, the layering of the different types of equipment and theories. You can put a shorty on here, but for my goalies, I believe that the heavy stick is enough of the stimuli for them to use. So I do put a goalie head on here. And some of these equipment are gonna be like age appropriate. So I'm not gonna give my 6th grader this thing. So I will check in with you guys and kind of make sure some of the things I can make sure that they are age appropriate. So this power shaft, excellent. It's weighted through the
And if I could
shaft.
just interject, sex appropriate too, because we got guys and girls. So if there's any piece of equipment that, you know, might apply to one and not the other, or
Right.
one age and not the other, definitely call that out.
Okay, absolutely. I'll make sure. Yeah. So if you just believe that this is appropriate for you, maybe the elite, more higher goalies, that would be best, the stronger goalies. So something else like that would be something, you know, homemade, like throw a bunch of pennies in your stick, put some Gorilla Tape on the bottom. That thing's not coming out. So that's quite simple. Also, you can do a bunch of sand, pour sand in it, put some Gorilla Tape on the bottom. That's not coming out. So you don't also want that all over the turf. Coach will be mad. So definitely those are ways to weight the whole stick. Then I have a few ways to weight the stick at the throat, which would be one here. We've got a donut, baseball donut. I know we don't like baseball, but here it is. 16 ounces we would put at the throat of the stick, and then you would just make your saves. Just simple, simple, simple. These just little things add up. It's that 1% at the end of the day, that 1%. I showed a little bit earlier. This is my training lace. You can bend however you would like it to. And I like to wrap it around the head at the throat, but then you can also put it like in between your hands and make sure it's fastened in between the hands. If you like that, you can kind of put the desired spot, but I use it at the throat with my guys. So that's just training lace.
What was that one called, Rand?
Oh, it's the training lace.
The training lace.
Or
Oh, cool.
Training lace. I think they kind of rebranded a little bit, so it might be lace up. I'm gonna send you all the list of my equipment, everything at the end, so you can have it all for everybody to take a look, of course, for you and the goalies.
Cool. Love it. Yeah. I'm trying to drop in some links too, if people want to follow along.
Perfect. Amazon is good.
Amazon. Yeah.
Sure.
So far, Brett, who's said his wallet is going to hurt. I think you're down. If my math is correctly, we got about $85 of gear, Brett. So you're out 85.
Anyway, it depends where you go.
Depends where you go.
A piece of equipment, I do have a code I can put in my Instagram. I'm sponsored by them. And I have a couple of other good relationships with companies I'll point out. So another at the throat, this is the Swax Lax Power Weights. What you can do is you can put it on the the actual head, it fastens very nicely onto the head, and you can, take shots, all that good stuff. So that's a great way to, again, add gravitational weight. Okay. All right. This is going to hurt again. Here we go. This is my steel mace. It's from On It. This is the lightest option. Steel mace On It. Amazing company. So what it does, here we go. So what it does is, for my goalies, I help them warm up with it. And I begin with the slow, controlled, stare at the ball at the top, really focus in for about 7 to 10 on each save position. And then they're starting to get their muscles warm. They're really getting a good focus on what they're doing. And then I let them kind of get after it a little bit. It is 7 pounds. So again, for our younger goalies, I think that you're going to have to get a little stronger and a little bigger. But some of my pieces of equipment, like I've already shown, can help you with that. And some of the awesome links and presentations will also help you take your body and your fitness and your strength to the next level, which is awesome. A number of goalies have no idea how to train, and that's one reason why I went and decided that it was important for me to go to school and look for different ways to help my goalies train and get stronger. So yeah, sweet. I actually found these this year. All right.
Couple comments, parents, they say my son would do some serious damage with a mace.
In the house, I know.
In the house, yeah.
I know.
Someone was asking, if you want to use the power lace and the weighted shaft, basically, if you listen to Rand's, the theory behind it, we're adding resistance and doing reps. Right? So that when we take away that resistance, we're quicker and we're faster, and our reaction time is a lot higher. That's the theory, right? And
yes.
So he's basically showing you all these different pieces of gear to do that. And, do I want to do the power lace and the weighted shaft? I don't know. That's probably maybe a little too heavy. Depends on your goalie. But that's the theory. That's the idea.
Yeah, I can answer that. I was going to talk a little bit about that, throughout, okay. Which is a good point. So it's like a progression. And I was going to discuss the progression throughout the whole presentation. Quickly, I'll mention, if I'm going to take shots with a shorty with the minimum maximum category that I have, maybe my goalie is killing it and I want to challenge him even more. So I put the training lace on it. So that's an extra challenge. So we're layering the different types of the categories that I have for you. So I have that, my goalies warm up with that every day, with the training lace and with the short stick. And then of course I do throw the power shaft at them as well. And like I talked about with the layering, I wouldn't use the field player's head with the heavy shaft, like the power shaft. All right, we got last one. So this is one of my personal favorites, as well as my goalie's personal favorites here. All right, here we go. This is my weighted vest. Here we go. Now, I like to use this, and so what I do is I buy a 20-pound weight vest, and it has to have like sandbags, or it has to have like metal in it that make up the different spots. And so what I do is then I take so the 5 on the front and 5 on the back, and I weight it like dynamically, and I put it on the goalies and let them go. We take shots, we do footwork, we do hand eye, anything that we normally would. And what's great about the weight vest is it doesn't just help with more like your hands, or like with your feet in general, or your hands in general. It would help the entire body just by having this vest on. It taxes the core, and through that it does the entire body. Even just only having it on you, not on your arms or anything else. So like we talked about, like the weighted gear that I have, they can work on your shoulders, and they can work on your forearms, and they can work on your upper back and core. But this hits absolutely everything, and it's easy to do. You just put on the vest and you go and you get after it. And this is the most difficult piece of equipment that I can help my goalies with. This is it. So if you feel like that you'd like to take it to the next level and give this a try, I would, like I said, they don't really get, if you can get a 10-pounder, that would be great. I haven't seen any really that I like that fasten correctly, but I would go for the 20-pounder. And like I said, take out the front and the back to make it more like dynamic. And if you're saving the ball with 20 pounds or running around with 20 pounds, that's not the point. The point is to be dynamic and to be an excellent goalie, not to be the next power lifter. That's not exactly what we're looking for. So that is what I've got for weighted. I believe that's
a couple questions folks have on that particular piece of gear. Under or over the chest pad?
I just put it over. I don't have a chest pad. I just put it over because it's own chest pad.
Yeah, over the chest pad. But you can also throw on that thing if you're jumping rope or you're doing, some non-shot drills as well.
Yeah, anything. And the 10 pounds is perfect. But if a younger goalie who's not quite as strong would like to do 3 and 3, just make sure it fits well. It can fasten around you appropriately. So with my goalies, we just don't use a chest pad. But anybody else, if you would like to use a chest pad, that will work. And if you get a little bit bigger one and you can find and design the correct fit, that would be perfect. But with my goalies, I just don't. So glad to set that thing down. What else we got? I now have for you, we're going to dynamic. We're going into dynamic. So let me kind of discuss that with a theory. So Instagram trainer, Nick Stoops, Stoop Kid 31, Baltimore trainer. Excellent. He's got the LFG bus. I talked to him a lot and we discussed bands. And so what we discussed and what he's really giving me the science behind these. I know that for some time that they're effective and they're awesome, and I have my goalies use them, but like the why I was looking for, and he gave me that, and it's called post-activation potentiation. That's a lot, so I'll break it down. Your ability to generate more force power, speed, and explosiveness after having some sort of resistance applied. So like we're talking about, so the resistance being applied would be the band. And so like with the band, you would have, I'll show you quickly, do my best. So if you have the band on your ankles, you are going to be stepping. So properly, lead foot, bring the back foot, lead foot, bring the back foot. So this, the lead foot, is going to be the resistance applied. Resistance applied, which is very simple. I'll show you in a second my my hip bands, my power bands. So, but this is just on the smallest level. These are for the hip bands, and these are also for the ankles. So I have all my goalies do that, and everyone very simple, very simple. And the best thing about those is they help bring your back foot with that gather step. So they're 2-for-1 knockout. I think they're great. Like I said, every goalie, every day, technique, power, explosiveness, done. So I'll show you here. Very simple, very similar. So, I mean, some guys call it power bands or looped bands. So I attached 2 together, and I'll tell you why. See, like these are the looped bands that you would find and put them over you. And then you would be in them. Like you can affix it to a movable object, or when training, you fix it to your partner or dad or mom and attempt to knock them over. So, so I have 2 together because I get in one and the goalie gets in the other, and I lean back and have the goalie do their attack their lateral step. We're going to do lateral step. We're going to do 45 step, and we're going to do a straight step. So that's when, so doing those steps all combined together instead of just doing the lateral step, it turns into, you kind of split the difference to be about like a 30 degree, like 45, 30 degree. And with this game now, with the shots, that's the kind of step we like to take. So that's why I like to do that exercise particularly with these. So these are looped power bands. Very simple, very effective. Just like these mini bands. You can get a pack of these mini bands, like a 25 pack of these mini bands for like $10. What else do I have for you guys? So again, so what you can do, you can use with your stick, you can use these bands and tie your stick in them. There we go. And affix it to an immovable object. And just affix it to your stick. And then what you're going to want to do is punch across. And then you can do off hip, and then you can do low. So that's what I like to do. Like in the gym, like a cable machine. The cable machine is weight, so that would be gravitational. So that's straight weight. And a lot of people's gyms have like a bar to use. I got this from Adam Gittleman, and he has a couple different videos using this, and he would punch across for the dynamic movement. So those are great. Number of different uses. Okay. Last thing I wanted to talk about would be okay, so there's also something from skills where you kind of put, it's like a corset sort of thing that has a band that comes apart, and it's like the same thing. It's the same thing as these, but that's like $60 in a band is like not that. Trying to keep your wallets light, guys. All right, dynamic resistance, done. Gravitational resistance, dynamic resistance. Let's go. Let's go to cognitive. So this is a fun type of equipment and like training equipment that they have in training. I've been talking with this Instagram trainer to the pros. His name is Jason Folco. You can go ahead and follow him. And I've asked him for a quote to discuss cognitive training. And he said, I call it putting the athlete under a microscope. If we are comparing athletes to a car, we would work on them getting stronger by giving them a bigger engine. We get them moving better. We call that changing the body of the car. No one teaches the driver how to use the bigger engine and newer model, and that is where I come in. In elite level sporting, there's not a whole lot of difference between the level of the athletes, but I want my athletes to react and make the right decision first. So cognitive training is all about decision making and how you react. So I have a few tools that I think are pretty fun, and I enjoy working with my goalies. Yeah, so what's important is we do the cognitive type of training with the mental training as well as the motor skills at the same time. So we're layering the different types of training. So who's feeling lucky? We are going to use a deck of cards today. So I'll set the drill up by saying, yes, everybody knows we're gonna throw cards at goalies. Awesome. But so I have two cards. I got the red and I also have the blue. So the cognitive for this would be only catch the red cards, only catch the blue cards, or just make sure you grab them out of the air, snapping to the card. So that is what I would use for these cards. But I don't know if you guys have seen these cards. The jumbo cards. Who would make these? These are so strange. So I've got to teach you a couple things that I like to do with them. I like to use the color, black, the number, 10, and the suit. So we can think color and number are 2. So then the suit then turns out to be 4. So yet again, you can layer the different types of training into how you want the different like outcomes you want to go to work with your goalie. So like, I mean, we've talked about a number of things and about being like weight appropriate or like age appropriate. Test your goalies. Test your goalies with test the goalies with the colors, and then test the goalies like with the suits, because that's 4 different things. You're going to need 4 more desired actions than just with 2, right? Everybody's like, what would exercise for 4 for like a suit be? So off my head, it would be stick side high, off stick high, low, off low. boom. So there's just 4, very simple. Your coach says, I need to see 5 off stick high, low, off stick low, and then it's gonna, if there's spades. So that would be a simple way to use the suits to create a drill. So those are really cool. I use them with my goalies. It's hilarious and it's fun and it's silly because they're jumbo, but you can have a lot of fun with this. And I just think it's a blast. So again, we can go into the color. So let's go into colors and numbers. So different colors, different numbers. Simple. If you're going to do any hand-eye at all, invest in some different colors. I like to grab a bunch of different ones, and my goal, I think, is hilarious. Again, so we have fun, and we do every single training, every hand-eye with different colors because it's easy. It's just so simple to, like I said, just add in the training, add in extra training cognitively, and make your mind think while you're doing the motor actions. So, example, a lot of people know one of my favorites is the ball drop one, drop the other, drop both. So that's how it comes out. I work with my goalies. I said, call out the color, I'll call out green, I'll call out white, or they'll say both, simply both. So that's a very simple one that I can show you. And then also something really cool that I like to do, I found. So something really cool that I found is you just put them behind your back. And you can also do 2, because I like to start with 2, especially with my younger goalies. Behind your back and then toss a different color. You can shuffle them behind your back and then toss different color. I would also try right hand to throw across, and I would try left hand throw across, and I'd do right hand or left hand straight toss. So those are a couple different ones that I like to use, couple different drills that are easy to just go ahead and use a different color. I have something here which is also very interesting. It's a cue ball. I don't know if anybody's kind of seen one of these things. Green, well, it used to be all yellow, and it was literally a lacrosse ball. Now this has some like give to it, but now it has the green as well. So that's like the next level for the goalie is I'm going to throw it to you, and you're going to catch it, and you're going to say the number, like the number that comes up to you. When you're throwing these, don't like whip them and like have them go like rotationally like crazy. More like a toss, like a soft toss, so they can react and grab the number, take a look at the number, and call it back to you. And then, like I said, you can do the number as well as the color. So if you're more advanced goalies, I like to do that. All right.
I love those. I love those, Ran, the cue balls. Because you have to, if you can pick up the number on the ball, it's just this whole new level of focus. And I totally know what you mean. At first, I bought those, and I started throwing them at the goalies, and then they would spin, and they're like, I can't see anything. And so you kind of got to throw it with like a knuckleball type of approach. But that's a great training tool. I've got a bunch of those.
Yeah, I have another piece of equipment that I'm going to show you guys that is very similar to that. Without further ado, so this is my 100% like favorite thing ever. This is my Echo stick. Take a look. Echo stick. So it's 3-prong. as you can see, it has 3 different colors. And what you do with it is, again, you get a nice toss to your goalie, and he will, or he or she, sorry guys, will be able to catch it and call out the number. Color. Sorry. we got so many, we got colors, we got numbers. It's like everywhere. But so yeah, I like this. Oh, one of these things running away. So I got 2. That's not true. I have 5. So basically, you can toss them just like any hand-eye, anything at all. I do, I like ball drop. I just hold them here, drop it from here. Any type of hand-eye. These are used everywhere. Pros, NFL, MLB, NHL, anything. NBA, can't forget the NBA. So these are awesome. My guys just love this. I have a 6th grader who just had to snag one after my first session. He went home. He's like, "Mom, I have to have this. I need it." And the next day, they were there, and I had to do a post because he's the man. So Hecko sticks, I strongly recommend you get those. Maybe even 2. Lastly, with cognitive, I'm gonna go through this with cognitive. Last with the equipment with cognitive is I've got this, which there we go. This is a vector ball. So what happens if it hits a hard surface like the ground, or if it hits a wall, it turns different colors. So red, green, and blue for this particular. I found this from bats for baseball. Once they hit the ball, obviously it creates a color, and the batter says which color it is, and they try to say as fast as they can. So for goalies, and we all know indoors, I like to train my goalies and have them face the wall and be behind and toss a lacrosse ball at them off the wall. So this is like really cool to do that, for them to call out the color while they're catching it. So this is actually pretty sweet. I've used it with my goalies. It's a blast. So vector ball, it's cool. It's cool. So lastly, a couple.
Somebody, real quick,
Oh, yeah.
somebody jinxed me because they're like, Damon, you've been pretty quick with the URLs, and then now I can't find that one. What, where did we find that one? Is that what brand is it, or what's it called?
Vector.
Vector ball.
Yeah, VECTOR. Vector.
Vector ball. Is there a brand?
I have no idea. It just says the patent number, but it's Vector.
Okay.
I think that's just the company. So lastly, I'll just go over quickly. You can use voice commands, like saying shot or jump or anything in that nature that you would like to use, or like turn or cutter, things like that. Actions like turns, shifts, like what kind of steps you want them to take. Yeah, I think all of these, like I said, can be added, right to any hand-eye, any footwork that you would like your goalie to do. So this is a fun next level type of category that I have for you, and I hope you really decide to give this a real look, because it's all about reacting and decision making. It's like all of us goalies are like you said, at the elite level, they can all make a stick side save. They can all make an offside save. So what is it going to be? What is going to differentiate you from the other goalie next to you? So that's what I got for cognitive. All right, we're gonna go to my minimum maximum, and so that would be, like I discussed a little earlier, like the size and the surface area of what you're using to catch the ball or whatever object you're working with. There's a couple things I'd just like to highlight. Different ball sizes here. See, this is a mini tennis ball. This is an actual tennis ball, and this is a lacrosse ball. Notice that they're different sizes. This is a little bigger. This is clearly smaller. So train with different types of like sizes and colors, like we were also discussing colors, numbers, and it can really help you with your vision, as well as just getting in reps and making the saves. It also breaks things up too. It's fun, and that's why we're here in general. So basically, that's number one. Number two, we got a shorty. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Sorry, guys. But it was a gift. It's a gift. So with the shorty, we clearly know that it is not as large as the goalie stick. So working around, everyone should have one. Work around with it, have fun with your friends, play, do anything you want, just toss around, play with your goalie stick, but just have a good time. Like, have fun, be a goalie. Just work around, and a lot of elite goalies have like mentioned that getting their hands on a short sticks and having fun with it totally made them a better goalie. I don't know if any of you guys have heard that, but I know Kyle Bernlohr, I saw a quote lately from him, Akron guy, little plug there. So that's an interesting way to kind of work with the size, the surface area, and the precision of how you make saves. Okay. One moment, guys. Okay. When we're talking about size and area, you can also talk about field of vision. So guys at Swivel Vision are amazing, and they send me some good stuff for my giveaway. They're amazing. So let me show you what I got from them. This is the Swivel Vision. It's pretty cool. So like I said here, we got the blinders on, we got the horse blinders on, ready to go to the goal, and that is your goal. So basically, it makes the goal is to move your body and your head. Remember, we talk hands and eyes. Those are the same. Those are the exact the theory behind the Swivel Vision. I kind of strangely took it to a different level, going to basketball, and this actually may help a lot of people, and with low shots, because a lot of people can have different troubles with shots, but low shots can be a difficulty. But these goggles are kind of pretty interesting. I'll put them on because that didn't really show them justice. So here, we got them on the bottom. The lids are at the bottom instead of on the sides, because if you're gonna make a save, you're going to make a save here. You can't see, if you do this, you're not going to be able to get your head down and see the ball. You're going to have to take your entire head and you're going to go down and you'll be able to save the ball. So that's just another strange field of vision size object that I can share with you. It's really interesting. I mean, they're like $12, so I would give it a try. Skills Dribble goggles. All right.
Yeah, I love those. I think that, like, you know, the theory behind it, anytime you can add resistance, add stimuli, make it like a more difficult save. When you then remove that stimuli, when you then remove that resistance, all of a sudden it's a lot easier, right? If I'm like preventing how much I can see and I'm trying to make saves, all of a sudden when I can see fully, I'm like, whoa, this is so much easier. So that's the idea behind that training. I love it.
Right. Yeah. Like I mentioned, it's about like how you can with the weighted stick, and then it's awesome. It's awesome. You can see it with the dynamic resistance and the resistance bands. You can actually see. I asked my goalies, like, after they do that with the dynamic resistance, I was like, well, how's that feel after? They're like, it's crazy. I feel like I'm Superman. I'm like, yeah, that's sweet. That's awesome. That's why we do it. That's why we get pumped up about this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. One more thing, pretty simple. You guys should know. We got the tennis racket, so which is larger, but what you do is you would have the tennis ball hit against the racket and try and get the ball to go straight back to your partner who you're working with. So you're using the full surface area, but it's also a little bit of a drill. So that can be fun, but it's also fun when your coach, parent, or friend takes this and whips tennis balls at you, because it goes over 100 miles an hour. And what's good about it is there isn't a release, because it's coming off the face of this tennis racket, and you're not seeing an actual throw of where the ball is coming from. So if you want to have some fun, get a serve, hit it at your goalie, see how fun that will be. And then also for inside shots, there's a lot of camps, things like that. They toss up a ball on inside shots, and they can quickly rebound it to you. So that's just an extra thing. All right, into the end here.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I grew up playing baseball. We didn't have lacrosse in California when I grew up. And that tennis racket thing that you were talking about reminds me of hitting out of a pitching machine, like the ones you would have, we had Scandia, which was kind of like a mini putting golf, but also had batting cages. And then it would just go, it would just shoot out of there, and you wouldn't be able to see the release. So you really had to focus and work on your reaction time.
Yeah. I think I have a couple of videos on my Instagram on it.
Awesome.
But it's hilarious. It's pretty fun.
Awesome. I linked up to your Instagram in the chat. Maybe Taylor, if you're on, you can do that again. We got 5 minutes. We got to do the giveaways, and we also have some questions. Could we do some Q&A right now?
Of course.
Yeah, let's do it. Where's the Q&A? There it is. Let's just start at the top here. Will we go through the glide today? The training tool, the glide, says Jack. We didn't touch on it, so I think the answer to that one is no. But do you use the glide?
Yeah, I had it in footwork. I did. I had a little bit in footwork. You can just use your stick, set it next to your foot, and make sure you're not do a nice step, gather step, but make sure you're not dragging. So that would be the best way to use the glide. Put it in the it's right in the middle of your step. So when you step, you don't drag. So that's definitely has value, but I would just use your stick instead of paying like $30.
Yeah, I think the glide I love the idea, but you could just, the concept is if you're dragging your back foot when you go to make saves, we're slower, right? Because we're dragging that back foot. So let's not drag the back foot. Let's pick it up as we, explode to the shot. And the concept is if I put something like the glide, which if you haven't seen it, it's just a little piece of plastic that kind of like sits on the ground like this. And so instead of dragging my back foot, I have to step over it. You can just use a lacrosse shaft. I mean, the Glide 2.0. Let's see. John said, "Can you speak to the age appropriateness for each item?" I think we touched on age appropriateness for pretty much all those items, right? The only one that you have to get careful with is when you get the resistance training. I think all the other ones are
With the
totally,
weight,
yeah.
It's not dynamic. Training can be really done by everyone because the bands are like, you can use different size bands, and it's very simple, very easy to use. So the bands are definitely age appropriate for everybody. But when you get into the gravitational, the weighted stuff, it depends.
Mm-hmm. Chelsea asks, are some of these items not recommended for youth goalies because of age and body development or strictly based on size? For example, her son or daughter is 5'4", 125 versus grade 6 goalie at 4'5", 80 pounds. I guess the question is, if you have an 80-pound goalie, right? 80-pound goalie, 4'5", still developing. Do I want to use that waist vest? Do I want to use the power shaft? Or, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would use something light, like maybe the baseball bat weight, or maybe the training lace, because those comes in the laced up, or the training lace, which is the same thing. They come in different weights. Like I have a 12-ounce one, and then I have like an 8-ounce one. They come in packs. I believe still they do. Yeah, I wouldn't put my power shaft in the hands of a young goalie that is 120 pounds.
Got it. Kelsey said, for girl goalies, would it be a regular girl stick and not a guy stick when you're talking about using the shorty?
Oh, that's such a good question. That's a really good question. Either one. And honestly, I have put a girl stick in the hands of my guy goalies because it's tough to catch.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. And actually, thank you for reminding me. I have one in my basement, and maybe I'll take it out this summer and check it out with all my goalies.
Yeah, awesome. The name didn't come through on this one, anonymous. If I filled the stick with pennies, is it the whole shaft? Do I fill it all the way up with pennies? He or she is asking.
It just depends how heavy you would like it to be. Yeah, I would do like Gorilla Tape too on the bottom, so it definitely doesn't come out.
Yep. Awesome.
Something like that. Yeah.
Let's see how many more we can knock out in the next couple minutes. Jess says, Coach, is the use of resistance training tools in lieu of weights / strength training or complementary to?
Definitely complementary too, because my presentation wasn't to get into the real sports performance and strength and conditioning, but we have a couple other presentations that do, and these definitely complement your strength training in the weight room, which is essential. I believe is essential, and we're going to have great panelists to discuss what's important, and also that the weight room is not a scary place. It's a place for you to get better, and it's exciting, and that you can have fun with your friends and do a great job. Also get better.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. Tommy says, do you use any of these pregame as a warm-up or only during training?
Absolutely during warm-up. A quick warm-up would be start with the on it to focus and get in. I use just like every practice, we'll use the short stick, and I like to have the laced up, the training lace on it. We use colored balls every time. We use the Hecko stick. I use bands on the legs for them. Sometimes we break out an agility. Well, we don't break out an agility ladder, but we'll use the lines on the field to do quickly different movements for them. So you can incorporate as many as you want, as many as you feel gets ready for the game.
Love it. Love it. That was amazing, Coach Rand Kirby. Thank you so much. Guys, show Rand some love in the chat if you could. What did you guys think of that session? What did you think of that session? While you're doing that, Haley asks a great question that we can end on here. Do you have any camps or private lessons we could do? If so, where do we find out about that?
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. And yes, I do private lessons. I do small clinics, and I do online training. So I have my website, thelacrossegoalie.com. So I have a couple options, and I have a consult, a 30-minute consult that we can talk about your game, your video analysis, any equipment like we discussed today that would be helpful, as well as some packages to train virtually. Since Zoom is now new, I can give you different types of workouts, also workouts for the weight room as well, something that I didn't quite touch on today.
Love it. Love it. Well, I hope I don't know if you got the chat up there. People are showing you tons of love. Awesome session. Let's do some giveaways.
Right.
Shall we?
Yeah. Let's go.
Let me share my screen. And here I've got the wheel of names. This is everyone who attended the session. If you've got to be here to win. So I'm going to bring up my clock. As soon as I call your name, put it in the chat. If you are here, we're going to be giving away a Lax shield is what we're giving away first. And again, you got to be here. As soon as the name comes up, let me know. Evan works for Team Lax Goalie Rat. Evan, we already have one for you. We're going to pick again. Last time in the last event, Johnny Rodriguez was like the host one. He was the host.